Hello and welcome to this demonstration on Deep Exploration 6.0. I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes or so giving you an overview of the capabilities of this software and showing you how easy it is to get stunning results from your CAD models. Before we start, I'll give you a brief overview of the user interface. You have your main viewport in the center of the screen here, and you can see at the top of the window here, then we've got our standard Windows drop-down menus and our toolbars which run along the top there. Now, we also have quite a unique way of working in Deep Exploration. You can see these little tabs which I went through there. They're context sensitive, so depending on what you're working on, whether it's a rendering or a markup or an illustration, then you can set your toolbars to be sensitive to that workflow. We also have a concept, or the concept of layouts as well. And the layout is the entire screen that you're seeing here. All of the different menus, all of the different toolbars. And we can load and save different layouts depending on what we're working on. You can see that the one I'm working on here is called Demo. Now, Deep Exploration started life as a viewer, and because of that we can see that it can open lots of different formats, not only 3D but also 2D formats as well. And we can see that from this list here. Now, the basis of this demonstration is going to be on native Pro Engineer files, and I've saved or preloaded some Pro Engineer files here of this transmission assembly, which you can see on the screen. Now, we can orientate this around. We can highlight different models. We can see that our product structure is fully intact in the scene tree on the left-hand side. We can also look at different views, so top, left, and front views there, and we can also toggle whether or not we look at this in perspective. Now, we can also see different views within our viewport. We can use a 4-view layout, as you can see here, and this is particularly useful for people coming from different CAD backgrounds or different visualization tool backgrounds. For this demonstration, we use a single view layout. I just orientate this around, and what we can see here is that we can quite simply, quite easily hide off different components. So just hiding off these casings here. And as I said, these are native Pro Engineer files, and as you'd expect from quite a high-end CAD system, then these files are incredibly detailed. So we can just look at the internal gearing systems there, and just put those casings, or unhide those casings. We've also got different viewing tools, so we can see on the display toolbar at the top here, we can look at it as a space claim. We can see our model as a solid, just shaded model, also transparent, we can see here, in wireframe. Technical illustration. Now, we'll deal with technical illustrations in more detail later on in this demonstration. We can also see here a shaded, and also some more space claims. Now, the translation of CAD data from one system to another is something that's traditionally been quite tricky. Any engineer will tell you that is it can sometimes be a difficult thing to do. Now, for that reason, there are tools available within Deep Exploration to flip normals, to flip surfaces, to heal geometry if it comes in, and the translation is not 100%. We also have tools to reduce the size of your models. And that's what we look at here. If we want to reduce the size of this shaft, then we can turn down the graphics translation when that's brought in. So what we can say is that we could remove, we say there 79%, and we can see there that the translation of the graphics has been turned down, and we can do that for any different or any of these components. We'll just undo that quickly. Now, another aspect to these tools is that we could remove all the internal components. If we were creating a high level rendering of this casing, then it wouldn't be necessary for us to see all of the internal components. So what we can do is we can remove all those internal components. So we can see here, just set this to maximum speed and process this. What we'll see when this is finished processing is we'll hide this main casing, and all of those internal components have been removed, and that will really speed up our processing and regeneration time, and allow us much better graphics on the screen. Now, as I mentioned, when we're looking at ProEngineer, native ProEngineer files, and what I want to show you is the difference in file size. So we'll see here these native ProEngineer files, that entire assembly is 181 megabytes. Now I've previously opened up this and saved it as an RH file. So .rh is the file format which is native to Deep Exploration, and we can see with no compression and not using any of those tools which I just showed you, and this file size comes in at 4.3 megabytes, and that's a significant reduction in file size there. And what I'll do is for the rest of this demonstration we'll work on those native RH files, and what we'll see here is when I open up this file, there'll be no loss of quality in graphics or in data whatsoever. So we just hide off those external casings again. Then we can see then this RH file, which is a fraction of the size of our ProEngineer files, we've still got all the internal detail that we need to, or that we want to work with on this file. Let's just hide these casings off again, and we can see that we've got all those all that detail in place. So let's move on to the first section of this demonstration, and that's markups. Markups are an area which are very important to the design process. Sending models off or getting people to verify the work that's been done is very important. Markups will traditionally consist of notes, of dimensions, and of detailed views. So we have various tools available in Deep Exploration to address this situation. Let's move to our markup tab here, and we can see on the right hand side then we've got various views which have already been saved for us. So go and activate these views. And we can see here are some of our markups. We've got some dimensions, we've got some notes. Let's go to another view, and we can see here some more dimensions, some more notes, and some other markups on this view. And it's very simple and very easy to save these views and convey this data to other engineers or other designers or even just other departments. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and create some markups on this model and then save the view. So the first thing we might want to do is we'll just orientate this round, and we'll work on this end here. So let's add some dimensions, and just pick on this surface and this surface, and we can just add a very simple dimension there. If we want to add a radius on one of these holes, then we can just drag that out like so. And notes. So notes are a very important thing. We'll have a note with a leader. Just double click on that note to say to enter some text. We can also add another note to this little lever on the top here. Okay, and another aspect of detailed of markups would be a detailed view. So we can just drag a little circle around the area that we want to create a detailed view of, and we see our detailed view is created there. And embedded within that view is your 3D model, so you can rotate and spin that around and interrogate that without having to zoom in on the actual model. So just hit the Create New View icon there, and we can go in and change the name of that. Some modifications needed, and we can also look at some more advanced things here. So whatever orientation this model is in, then we'll say that we'll just take 2 seconds to fly to that specific view, and then we can just say OK and create this view. So you can see if we go back to our standard view, then we've got no notes, and this is the new view that we've just created. So that's a brief overview of